Wants and Needs, Love All, God's Country, and Bubbly are just some of the hits from the 25 times platinum sample maker Dez Wright. Having consistently worked alongside artists such as Drake, Travis Scott, and Don Toliver, alongside Weezy, who was one of Dez Wright's closest collaborators. Dez Wright has rightfully established himself as one of the top producers in hip-hop over the last 5 years. Known as the Synth Lord, Dez's samples are heavy on creative and dark synth layers, as well as catchy vocals. Today we're going to be taking a look at what makes Dez Wright samples so good. First up, we're going to be creating a sample inspired by Love All from Drake's album Certified Lover Boy.
People never care till it's RIP. Niggas turn their back on me for no good reason.
Jumping straight into our sample, we've got our first layer, which is a pad from Analog Labs called the Mambo Pad. We laid down these ambient chords, obviously going for that similar vibe to Love All. The stock sound of this pad was really nice, so all we needed to add was a halftime to give it that deep ambient feel. We rendered that out, reversed it, and time stretched it so each chord played for 2 bars. Here's what it's sounding like now. Really nice sounding pad there. For effects on there, we've just got a stock effect rack preset along with 2 EQs, just taking out some of the bass. Moving on to the second layer for the second part of our sample, we've got another Analog Lab preset. This preset's called Aftertouch Surprise. We laid down this pattern using the MIDI keyboard. As you can hear, we've got a synth there, obviously inspired by Dez Wright's style. For effects on that preset, we've got a simple EQ taking out lots of the lows and the detune space preset from Effect Rack. We took the processing a little bit further and pitched it down a whole octave and added another EQ and some fresh air just to widen it up a bit. Moving on to our third layer of the sample, again using Analog Labs. This preset's called Decades DX. We laid these chords in and added an EQ and Echo Boy on for effects. We rendered that out just because we like to have all our sounds in audio files. Moving on to our last melodic layer of the sample, we've got a Dez Wright inspired vocal. Marcus recorded these vocals in the bathroom using voice memos. Recording vocals in the bathroom can sometimes give it a cool reverb. These are the chops we got with no effects. We also managed to get this reverse vocal chop. For the main vocal chops, we added 3 effects onto them first, an auto-tune, an alter boy, and a convolver, to make the vocal sound unique and spaced out, just like the vocal in Love All. And then we added 3 more effects, 2 EQs, and a long reverb. We routed the reverse vocals to that same chain, and here's what all the vocals together sound like. We included this vocal in our Alchemy sound bundle, along with many other vocals that sound very similar. Link to the sound bundle will be in the description. The last layer we added was a bass from our Essentials drum stash. With our sample laid out and finished, we then rendered it out and pitched it down 2 semitones to give it an even deeper and ambient vibe. We also threw in some Love All inspired drums just to finish it all off. Alright, let's hear it all together. Our Dez Wright inspired Love All sample and beat all together. one turned out crazy, definitely had a Dez Wright style to it. Another one of our favorite tracks produced by Dez Wright is God's Country.
Waking up, I see the light. I've been drunk and it's alright.
Love it or hate it, you cannot deny the creativity and effort that was put into the sample. Let's jump back into FL and make a God's Country inspired sample. Jumping into the first layer, we used a bell from Analog Labs using the preset Caged. To be honest, I didn't know what I wanted this layer to sound like or how I was going to process it, but I persisted through and the final layer turned out crazy, so let's walk through how I did it. Here's the original piano roll played in with the MIDI keyboard. For effects on there, we've got a reverb, EQ, delay, and a halftime, all giving it a dark, almost Q-beatsy vibe. Now, here's where the processing gets kind of weird. We rendered that out, pitched it up 2 semitones, and added these extra effects onto it. We also reversed that exact same layer, pitched it down a whole octave, and added these extra effects onto it for another layer you're going to see soon. Here's what that sounds like. From those 2 layers, we managed to get this 2-bar chop, which we repeated and then repeated again, but pitched down 5 semitones. We added this EQ to it, and here's what it sounds like. For that reverse layer we added extra effects onto it and chopped little parts just to accent that main melody. Here's what it sounds like. Alright, let's hear both of those layers combined. Next, we wanted to add a perk loop. We wanted to make one ourselves and get creative with it, so we threw together these random drums. We half-timed that perk loop and then chopped it up in Slice X, which made it sound like this. We rendered that out of Slice X, added a couple more half times, some EQs, and here's our final perk loop. We wanted to create something similar like Dez Wright did in God's Country with his vocal, but without using a vocal. So we grabbed this trumpet from Analog Labs, preset's called Trumpet Solo, and we played in this pattern with the MIDI keyboard. We left this pattern unquantized because we knew we wanted the final product to sound like a vocal, so we wanted to keep it natural. For effects on here, we've got 2 EQs, a reverb, and we've got the free vinyl plugin as well. We then rendered that out, chopped it up in Slice X, pitched it up a whole octave, and then rendered that out back into the project, adding these new effects. By now, this is almost sounding like a synthy vocal, which is perfect for the Dez Wright vibe. That trumpet turned out to sound really good. The last layer we added was a bass from our upcoming sound stash, Midnight. Here's what the bass sounds like. Our last melodic layer we added to the sample, we pulled from our Midnight sound stash kit. All we had to do was change the pitch and fit it to the right BPM. Here's what it sounds like. With the sample complete, we rendered it out and rearranged the sample and also pitched it down to give it an even darker and evil vibe. We threw on these hard-hitting trap drums, just like in God's Country. And now with everything complete, here's what our sample and beat sounds like, inspired by God's Country, produced by Dez Wright.
That's the video, boys. Hopefully you learned something from those sample breakdowns. Cheers for watching. We'll see you in the next one.